Hi, my name is Hassan, and in today's video, we are going to track add to cart event for Facebook Pixel using Google Tag Manager on your Shopify store. This video has been divided into 4 different sections. In the first section, we are going to see how we can configure Google Tag Manager container on your Shopify store. In the second section of the video, we will configure the configuration tag that are responsible for tracking page views on Facebook Pixel. In the third one, we will configure the add to cart script in the Shopify store so we can trigger the add to cart event with the enhanced e-commerce object. And in the fourth section, we will configure Google Tag Manager container for add to cart event and finalize everything. There are 3 prerequisites of this video. You need to have a Google Tag Manager container, a Shopify account, and a Facebook Business Manager where you will host your Facebook Pixel. Let's head over to the Google Tag Manager container so we can get the head and body snippet and we can paste them inside the Shopify store. So on your Google Tag Manager account, you can click on this container ID. Your container ID might be different depending on your container. And we are going to copy this head section from this and go inside the Shopify store. We are looking for online stores. Anything that you want to fire on all pages of the website, you need to make sure that those codes has been added directly onto the theme file of your store. Click on the 3 dots and it is always advisable to duplicate your theme file before making any major changes. However, this is a demo site, so we are not going to do that. Let's hit edit code, and under the theme section right below the head, we are going to paste the Google Tag Manager head container code. Let's go back to the Tag Manager account to copy the body code so we can also paste the body code right below the body tag of Shopify store. Let's hit format liquid and save the theme file. In order to verify if the Google Tag Manager container is properly firing on your Shopify store, let's preview the Google Tag Manager container by debugging it with the theme. Once the debug view is connected with our Shopify store, we can see using the Google's legacy tag assistant Chrome extension that the Google Tag Manager container is properly firing on the website. Now in this second section of the video, we are going to configure the page view event that is required in order to track any other event on the website. So let's head back to the Facebook Business Manager, and on the Facebook Business Manager, you will see an option for all tools section. No matter on which page you are, you will always see this option, and we are looking for Event Manager. Once you click on Event Manager, it will redirect you to the overview page of the Event Manager on Facebook Business. And on the left side, you will see a triangle which says Data Sources. Once you click on that, it will redirect you to the Facebook Pixels that you might have. If you don't have any Facebook Pixel, you can click on the plus sign. However, if you already have a Facebook Pixel, click on Add Event and Add New Integration. This will show you the Facebook Pixel code that you need to implement on your website. This is the Facebook Pixel code that you can copy and paste directly on the Google Tag Manager container. However, we are not going to do that. We are going to use something called Facebook templates. And the templates are provided by Google Tag Manager communities. They just make everything a lot more easier and we don't have to work with code anymore. So let's just copy this database ID, which was previously known as Facebook Pixel ID, and let's head back to the Google Tag Manager container. We need to import this new template file first. So let's go back to the template section and search the gallery for this template. This template is named Facebook Pixel and this is managed by Facebook Archive team. They have put a lot of effort into this and this template works seamlessly fine for everything. Perfect. Let's search for Facebook Pixel and this is the tag that we're going to need. Let's add this to the workspace and go back to the tag section so we can create one tag using this template. Let's go back to the tag section so we can create a tag using this new tag template. Let's click on new. Since we want this all page view tag to fire on all pages, we are going to select all pages to trigger. And now under the custom, you will see a new tag which says Facebook Pixel. We are going to paste the Facebook Pixel ID, but we can do one better thing. Instead of just pasting the value directly, we can create a constant variable for this one so we can refer this again when we are creating the add to cart event. So let's create a new variable which is constant because the database ID is not going to change. So let's rename it Meta Database ID and hit save. You can also rename it to Facebook Pixel ID. It does not really matter. And the tag is going to be Facebook Pixel configuration tag. Perfect. Now we have added the configuration tag. Let's just hit preview to verify if everything is working all right with the configuration tag of Facebook Pixel on our Shopify store. Once you click on preview, the preview window will connect your Google Tag Manager container with your Shopify store. And since you might have the Facebook Pixel helper extension installed on your website, you can see that a Facebook Pixel event has been recorded. And this one is for page view. Perfect. So the page view event is working fine. However, these changes are still in the draft mode. If you want these changes to be public, you need to submit the changes. However, I'm not going to submit them right now because we have to add the add to cart event. In this section 3 of the video, we are going to add some scripts on the Shopify store that will trigger the add to cart events. There are two major ways to add these scripts. One is adding the script directly onto the global pages of the website. So it will do a DOM search of your document page and then attach an event listener for add to cart. This is the first method that we're going to explore in this video. So let's head over to the Shopify store so we can create the files that we need. Since we are already in the theme section where we added the Google Tag Manager snippets, we are going to create some more snippets for Shopify. Let's search for snippets. And let's create two different snippets. One is going to be a head data layer snippet and the second one is going to be product data layer. So let's create the head data layer first. And now let's create a product data layer. Let's name it DataLayer dot. That's more like it. Perfect. Now, if you will follow the link in the description, you will find the code that we are supposed to paste here. Let me copy them and get back here right now. Perfect. Let's paste the code that we copied from the data layer head section. And let's also paste the code for the head data layer file. Let's save all the changes. Perfect. Once you have all this code, and now we need to import this head data layer file right below the Google Tag Manager body snippet where we have added it. To import any kind of snippet, you can simply open curly brackets and %sign to include, and the file that we want to include is head data layer. Perfect. Once you have added the head data layer, what this piece of line is going to do, this will import this head data layer code right there. And if the user is on the product template page, then this code will fire. And this code will basically look for anything that has name equals add, and then it will append a custom add to cart event on that button click event. Let's go back to the Shopify store and navigate to any of the product pages just to see if the add to cart event is triggering right now in the data layer or not. Let's click on add to cart and go back to the preview window, and we can see that a custom add to cart has been triggered, and these have some of the event parameter details that are very similar to Google Analytics 4 data layer. That's awesome. We have all the details that we need, such as item ID, item name, price, quantity, etc. So let's head back to the Google Tag Manager container for the fourth and final section of this video, where we will create the tags, triggers, and variables that will send this event back to the Google Analytics 4. Let's open this debug window side by side to the Google Tag Manager container so we don't have to go back and forth. Perfect. The first thing we need to do is create a trigger that will fire on this add to cart event. So let's go to the trigger section and copy the name of this trigger. Let's click on new. Since this is a custom event, we are going to select custom event and rename it as CE, which is abbreviated for custom event, and name of the event. Now we have created this event. You might have also noticed that we can't send this items object directly back to the Facebook pixel because Facebook pixel requires everything in a different format, and we need to make sure that all the event parameters are matched with that format. So let's go to the template section to see one more template tag that has been created by Step.io team. And this is very helpful when we are trying to convert Google Analytics 4 event parameters into our own desired event parameters. So let's search the gallery for any kind of event parameters variables, and we are looking for Facebook parameter generator. What this variable basically does is that it takes the array from this ecommerce.items object, and thus it can transform this into values, num items, content IDs, content name, contents, etc. All the things that are required for Facebook pixel. But first, we need to make sure that we can actually capture this items array. So let's go back to the variable section and create a data layer variable that will access this ecommerce.items object. So let's create that ecommerce.items. Since e-commerce is an object, and to access anything inside an object for a data layer, we have to use a dot notation. Let's rename it to DLV ecommerce.items. So this is the ecommerce.items object. Now the first variable that we are going to create is the value parameter. We are going to use Facebook parameter generator for this one, and the only input field it requires is the array of object that we just created. Perfect. So to create the value, we need item underscore ID. These are all the fields that are used inside the items object. If your item ID is represented by ID, you can use ID. I'm going to use item ID since it seems more consistent. The name is stored under item underscore name. Price is under price, and quantity is under quantity. Perfect. We are going to rename this tag as Facebook parameter generator. And since we are using ecommerce.items, then we are going to use ecommerce item, and this one is returning value. So let's hit save. And now we have to create 4 more variables for the same thing, but we are not going to create new one. We are just going to copy and paste the existing ones and rename everyone. So this one will create num items. We have to do the same thing for contents. Contents is very similar to how we have items array here. However, the only difference is that instead of price, the contents array contains a different key, which is called item_price, and the name and ID are represented by name and ID without item underscore behind it. The content_IDs array, this is just an array of all the strings that it contains the ID of all the objects that has been purchased or added to the cart. And the last one is name. Let's just save, and now we have all the event parameters that we need except the currency parameter. I can see that the currency parameter is not being pushed right here in the ecommerce.currency object, so we can quickly fix that. We can go back to the code here, and right below this ecommerce object, we can add the currency parameter. And since the Shopify already offers the currency, we can use the shop.currency parameter to get the currency item. So let's hit save, and now we should have currency inside ecommerce.currency object. Let's go back to the Google Tag Manager container and create one last DataLayer object that we need, which is ecommerce.currency. So let's hit save, DLV. Let's also just verify if the currency parameter is working alright or not. So let's hit refresh on this debug window. So this DataLayer pushes it will be refreshed, and let's hit add to cart. Perfect, the currency parameter is coming in alright, and that's good. So now let's go back to the tag section to create the add to cart event. Let's create new. And for the triggers, we are going to select the add to cart trigger that we just created. And for the tags, we are going to go with the same Facebook pixel tag. The Facebook pixel ID has been stored in the meta database ID. And since this is an add to cart event, we are going to search for the standard event, which is add to cart. We are going to add the object properties that we just created using Facebook parameter generator. We need value, currency. Your spelling does not have to be that bad as mine. Then we need content_IDs. We need content_name. We need contents. We need num_items. And then the last thing we need is content_type. Content_type tells Facebook Pixel that what kind of items we are selling on the website. So since this is an e-commerce website, we are going to use products. And for the num items, we are going to import the variable that has the num items. For content, we are going to import the contents one. Similar thing for the names. Then we have IDs. And then we have currency. Let's select DataLayer for ecommerce.currency. And for the final one, we have the value. Perfect. Let's rename this tag to Facebook Pixel add to cart event. If everything is working alright, then we should see this event firing. Before making a test conversion, we can just go to the test event on the Facebook Pixel. So once we make any kind of events, we will see the events coming in here. So let's hit preview window once again. So this debug window will be connected with our Shopify store. Let's bring the Shopify store here and the debug window on the left side, since I like it that way. Let's open a different project. Let's open a different product, and let's do add to cart event. So this add to cart event has been triggered and the tag has fired. We can also see on the Facebook Pixel helper that the add to cart event has fired, and it has the items ID, name, content, and all the other details. Let's go back to the event manager on Facebook Pixel, and we can see that the add to cart event has been fired. And you might also notice that for me, it is showing a warning that my catalog is not linked. That is because this is a demo store and we don't have a catalog set up for the demo store. Now, since all the changes are working all right, we can go ahead and submit these changes. Let's do that. Facebook Pixel add to cart. Perfect. Now all the changes that you have made are live on the website, and you should be recording the add to cart event and page views event.